Welcome to Healing After Heartbreak, Season 2, The Heartbreak We Don't Talk About. What if the hardest heartbreak of your life didn't begin with a breakup? This season, Mary Majors explores the heartbreaks we rarely name and the relationships, beliefs, and patterns they leave behind. Wherever this episode finds you, you're welcome here, because understanding your story isn't about living in the past. It's about finding the freedom to write a different future.
Before we begin, I have something special for you. My free 5-day Boundaries Without Guilt challenge begins Monday, August 24th. Each day, I'll help you understand your boundaries, work through the guilt that often follows them, and stop feeling responsible for everybody else's reactions. You'll also receive a companion workbook, clear boundary script guide, and hold your boundary checklist, all completely free. If you're ready to stop abandoning yourself to keep everyone else comfortable, join us through the link in the show notes. I would love to have you there. Now, welcome back to Healing After Heartbreak. I'm Mary Majors. During the first 3 episodes of this season, we explored Part 1, the heartbreak you couldn't name, the quiet heartbreak of growing up without the emotional safety, understanding, or validation you needed. Today, we're beginning Part 2, the family that shaped you, and we're starting with the roles we learned to play inside our family. So, let me ask you something. Who were you in your family? Were you the responsible one, the easy one, the one who could sense tension before anyone had even said a word? Maybe you were the child who could walk into a room, glance at everybody's faces, and immediately think, okay, something is wrong. Who's upset? What happened? And how quickly can I fix it? Some of us developed emotional radar before we learned long division, and honestly, we were probably better at it. Before you knew who you were, your family may have already decided who they needed you to be, not because everyone
And sat around the kitchen table and handed out assignments.
All right, Mary. You'll be responsible for keeping the peace, taking care of everyone's feelings, and making sure no one is ever uncomfortable. Oh, and please don't have any inconvenient needs of your own. No one actually said that, but somehow we learned the assignment. Families are systems, and every person in that system learns how to function inside it. One child becomes the hero. One becomes the peacemaker. Another becomes the caregiver, the invisible child, or the scapegoat. We usually didn't choose these roles consciously. We stepped into them because they worked. They helped us receive attention, avoid conflict, preserve connection, or feel a little safer inside the family. So, let's see whether you recognize yourself. The hero is the achiever. She gets the grades, earns the awards, follows the rules, and makes the family look good. She is dependable, accomplished, and usually exhausted. She doesn't simply complete the school project. She completes the project, adds a color coded bibliography, brings snacks for the entire class, and then apologizes because the poster board might be slightly crooked. The hero learned, if I do everything right, maybe everything will be okay. Then there's the peacemaker. She can feel tension from 3 rooms away. She softens difficult conversations, changes the subject, makes a joke, and tries to ensure that no one stays upset for too long. The peacemaker learned, if everyone else is okay, maybe I'll be okay. The caregiver is the helper. She listens to adults' problems, takes care of younger siblings, anticipates everyone's needs, and grows up much too quickly. She's the person everyone calls during a crisis. Unfortunately, she may also be the person no one remembers to check on after the crisis is over. The caregiver learned, my value comes from being needed. The invisible child learned to stay quiet. She doesn't ask for much. She avoids drawing attention to herself and tries not to add another problem to an already overwhelmed family. She may have been described as independent or easy, but sometimes easy simply meant I learned that there wasn't much room for me. And then there is the scapegoat. She's labeled the difficult one, the dramatic one, the rebellious one, or my personal favorite, she's just too sensitive. But sometimes the person identified as the family problem is actually the person expressing what the entire family is trying to not feel. Now, you may recognize yourself in more than one role. You may have been the hero at school, the peacemaker at home, and the caregiver in your friendships. These roles can shift, but I want you to hear me clearly. There was nothing wrong with you. These roles were not personality flaws. They were intelligent adaptations. They were ways your heart and nervous system learned to protect you, preserve connection, and make sense of experiences you were too young to understand. The problem isn't that you learned the role.
The problem is that no one told you when you were allowed to stop playing it. So you grow up.
But the role comes with you. The hero still believes she has to prove her worth. The peacemaker still feels responsible for everyone's comfort. The caregiver still puts herself last. The invisible child still struggles to ask for what she needs, and the scapegoat may automatically assume that every conflict is somehow her fault. And these roles get especially loud on a bad day. Someone's tone changes, and the peacemaker thinks, oh no, fix it. You make one mistake, and the hero decides, well, clearly we are now failing at life. Someone needs help, and the caregiver drops everything, even though she is already running on fumes. The invisible child wants to disappear, and the scapegoat begins reviewing everything she has done for the past 6 months to determine how this might possibly be her fault. Our nervous systems can take one bad Tuesday and turn it into a full documentary series. It has a plot, a villain, 3 alternate endings, and somehow we are responsible for all of them. But what if one difficult day could simply be one difficult day? Good days and bad days are part of life. Be grateful for the good days, and when a bad day comes, remind yourself that it is temporary. Try not to take one hard moment and create an entire story about your life, your relationships, or who you are. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to prevent every conflict. You don't have to make everybody happy, disappear, achieve more, or take the blame. Instead, gently tell yourself, I let this be. I let this moment be uncomfortable. I let this person have their feelings. I let today be difficult without deciding that my entire life is falling apart. I let this be. That doesn't mean ignoring something that genuinely needs your attention. It doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior or pretending that everything is fine. It means you stop giving one difficult moment more power than it deserves. You pause before the old role takes over, and you may notice how much more quickly your nervous system returns to balance when you stop asking one bad day to mean something about everything. Because sometimes what keeps us activated isn't only what happened, it's the story we create about what happened and everything we believe we must now do to make it okay. I Let This Be offers another choice. It gives the hero permission to be imperfect. It gives the peacemaker permission to let someone else be uncomfortable. It gives the caregiver permission to rest. It gives the invisible child permission to remain present, and it gives the scapegoat permission to stop accepting blame that was never hers to carry. The role helped you belong, but you don't have to keep performing it to remain worthy of love. This process of separating who you are from who you learn to be is at the heart of my book, The Sacred Work of Remembering. I wrote it for the woman who has spent years becoming what everyone else needed and is finally ready to come home to herself. If something in this episode felt familiar, you can purchase The Sacred Work of Remembering through the link in the show notes. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before survival told you who you had to be. So this week, pay attention to the role that appears when something goes wrong. Not so you can judge yourself and not so you can blame your family. Just notice it. What does that younger part of you immediately believe she has to do? Fix it, smooth it over, work harder, take care of everyone, disappear, accept the blame? Then place your hand over your heart and remind her, I don't have to fix everything today. I don't have to become who everyone else needs me to be. I let this be. You are not only the role you learn to play, you are a whole person beneath it. And healing isn't about rejecting the child who learned how to survive. It's about turning toward her and saying, you did such a good job getting me here, but you don't have to do all of that anymore. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. This is sacred work, and you are worth remembering.
Thank you for spending this time with us on Healing After Heartbreak. If today's conversation resonated with you, be sure to follow the podcast, leave a review, or share this episode with someone who may need it. To continue your healing journey, visit marymajors.com, where you'll find the free Heartbreak Pattern Assessment, Mary's book, The Sacred Work of Remembering, and additional resources designed to help you rebuild self-trust, find emotional safety, and heal with compassion. Until next time, remember, healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been.